What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. This is TWA Motorsports, and today, I guess it's inevitable. If you daily drive a vehicle, and I'm not gonna get upset. I'm gonna try not to get upset, but my wife has curb rashed the wheel on her Tesla, and when I first saw this, I literally lost my mind. You guys know how picky I am about my stuff, and I was so incredibly frustrated that I was incredibly mad. But today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna attempt to touch it up a little bit. Now, I know this isn't the correct fix. I really just need to replace the wheel, but I will tell you about, there's a lot of complaints with Tesla on these 21-inch wheels. People say they bend them all the time because there's not a lot of tire there, and there isn't. And honestly, guys, if we keep this thing for any kind of time, we might look at an aftermarket set of wheels, maybe a 20 instead of a 21, for a couple reasons. These tires are really hard to find, and the other reason is there isn't much profile, and the lip sticks out quite a bit, so you can see what we're dealing with here. And she got into something pretty good. I'm not sure when it happened, and anyway, today we're gonna attempt to fix or make it look better. We're not gonna fix it, but we're gonna try to make it look a little nicer. And it's literally, you can see it all the way around. Incredibly frustrating, but what I did was I ordered some touch-up paint. They make some touch-up paint for these wheels, and I'll list it in the link down below. I got it off Amazon, and it's supposed to be the same color. It's for the Aero wheel, and it's a really odd color. It's really dark, but I'm gonna try to set you guys up on a tripod here, and we'll just see if we can touch it up a little bit. I'm gonna try to clean, I cleaned the car yesterday. It's all dusty now because the wind's been blowing, but we're gonna set you up on a tripod. Like I said, I'm gonna grab some cleaner or some like alcohol to try to clean this area up, and we'll see if this stuff matches and we can make this look a little better. Now, other than that, there's a couple other things that I've noticed that's been bugging me. I don't know if we'll be able to catch it in the light of the camera, but it looks like we're getting quite a bit of water spotting. And honestly, guys, every time I wash this, I clean it off and dry it. So I don't really know. It's got to be something that's happening when she's either at work and it's setting. It's really bad. Where I really notice is on the hood, and I'm sure you guys can catch it in a couple spots there. So we're going to try to address this as well. I tried some clay bar on it before I even turned the camera on, and that's not taking it off. So it's obviously not sitting on the paint. It's actually etched down into the clear. So we're going to attempt to, I'm going to try to use some softer compound because I really don't want to dust it up with the M105. So I'm hoping like the M205 might get this with maybe a foam pad, just because it doesn't make as much dust. But we're going to try that as well. So let's get you set up, and we'll start with the wheels. So I've got some alcohol here. Just some rubbing alcohol. We're just gonna clean, just in case this has any wax on it or anything that's gonna cause our paint not to stick. We're gonna go around just once over. Like I said, guys, this isn't gonna be the best fix because really it's pretty deep. And so I think it's gonna take a couple coats. But once we rub that down, we'll let that flash off and dry. And then I've got a couple different brushes. Of course, the paint comes with a brush. And then I've got a little bitty like detail brush. It's like it literally looks like a cotton ball, a really microscopic cotton ball on the end. And it does a better job of not making, like a puddle or brush streaks. So we're gonna attempt to do that. I've got several of these. If you have ever done touch-up, these are awesome. If you either have a small dropper, that works pretty good as well. But because we're working on a surface that's not flat, this seems to do a little better in my opinion. So let's shake this paint up, and this stuff flashes off pretty quick. So we'll just try it and see what happens. I've got some good sunlight right now because it's morning. So hopefully we can get, you guys can have some good light to see how good this matches. I actually think I'm gonna start with the brush because it's a little smaller than I thought. actually. I don't love that. So we're gonna go to this. And as I said, it's not gonna be, because we're filling some pretty deep gouges, it's not gonna be perfect. But as dark as these wheels are, this just sticks out like a sore thumb, in my opinion. It's a pretty good match. It's not perfect. There's some really big gouges here. These here, it just drug. I'm assuming these are powder coated from the factory, and it's pretty thick. So these areas will take, I think, a couple passes. I talked to my powder coater guy that did, he did my headers for the Trans Am. And he told me that it'd be a really hard color to match. It'd be kind of one of those things you'd almost have to do every wheel. And then I looked at a replacement wheel, but right now they're on back order. And so they're not terribly expensive. I thought, man, when I first saw this, I thought, man, it's gonna be a $3,000 wheel. But it actually, I wanna say they were like $400 or $350 for one wheel. It wasn't as bad as I thought. And I think there's a spot on one other one, but I actually think it was there when we bought it. So we'll touch it up as well. Now, if I wanted to spend a lot, if I wanted to spend a lot of time on this, a guy could, get this touch-up paint pretty thick, and then maybe knock it down with some sandpaper and try to level it out. But because there's some spots that are so gouged, I think I'd just make a bigger mess than if I, just touched it up and left it. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go around the whole wheel. We'll let it dry a little bit, and then we'll come back and see kind of how it looks. So after the one pass, this stuff matches pretty good. It's not a perfect match, but look, I'm covering some pretty deep stuff here. And like I said, I think it's gonna take a couple coats. I will tell you, there's not much paint in what they shipped me. So we're gonna start going over it again. And it's gonna be kind of bubbly, but ultimately it's gonna look better than what it was. Let's take a look after two coats. I mean, you can see, those big areas like that, I've covered it actually 3 times in those areas. And like I said, if I wanted to get real crazy, I probably could just really coat it up and then go back and try to maybe cut it down with some 800 grit or 1000 grit. It'd probably take 800 grit to get down, and then 1000 grit, and then try to polish the wheel up. But guys, I'm telling you, for what this is, I mean, it is a daily driver. It looks better than what it did. And I will say that the paint matches pretty good, and it looks better than the exposed metal, obviously. So let me know in the comments if you've ever used those protectors. They make those like protectors that go kind of between the bead of the tire and the rim. I kind of thought about that too as an option, just for now. That would cover up that area, and maybe it'd keep her from doing it again, So, you know, I know she didn't do it on purpose. But anyway, let's move on to this area up here. We'll see if we can get some of these water spots out that are making me crazy. And like I said, you really can't see them up here. It's more one of those things you can only see in certain sunlight. You just got to catch it in a certain angle. I noticed it last night when I was out here. The lights were on, so I may close the garage, get the sunlight out of the way, and kind of see what we can do. Let's see if I can get, you can see some of it there. Yeah, they're like that area right there. You see those? Those are all over the entire car. So I'm gonna grab that Griot polisher that I have, and like I said, I've already cleaned this, it's been washed. And we're gonna try some M205 to start and see if that fixes our issue. And if it doesn't, then we will move on to a M105, because I know it'll take it out with a microfiber, but man, it just makes so much dust. And I just got through washing this thing. I really don't wanna mess with that. But let's start with that and see where we can get. Now this is more of a polishing compound. This is a new pad, so I'm probably gonna really load it up. But because it's more of a polishing compound, it doesn't get as aggressive as like a cutting. So we'll see. It doesn't seem like it's super deep. It's just really odd. My wife works next to a plant that manufactures some sort of pellet, and so there's always dust flying around, and I'm wondering if, like, when it's raining, that stuff lands on the paint and then the sun just kind of bakes it in. I'm wondering if that's our problem. It's kind of frustrating if that is it, but let's see. Maybe we'll get lucky and not have to spend a ton of time on it. I'm gonna slow it down so it's not gonna fling everywhere. looks like we might have got lucky. We did. All right, that's good. I didn't really want, there's a couple reasons that I'm not, I love M105 for what it will do, but I hate trying to wipe off M105, and I know a couple people have said, hey, you need to try it. There's a couple other things they recommended because it dusts so bad. It took every single spot out. And I probably didn't need to spend that much time on that area, but way better. And then we're gonna have to come back. We'll probably put a little, just ceramic, some Sios that I have, some coating on there. It's just a spray on stuff, but it seems to do pretty good for now. Holy cow, that looks better. I was skeptical that would actually fix it. All right, let's keep going. We got, the crazy thing is, and this is what makes me think it's coming from her work, it's only on the areas that are exposed, that are setting up. So like the hood, there's nothing on the roof other than glass, and it's not on the glass, which is really odd. But the Tesla has a really odd coating or something on the glass that makes kind of a rainbow effect. I don't know what it is, but there is literally none on the top. It's just on the hood, the trunk, and then the little areas like, you know, beside the top of the fender, the top of the rear quarter. So we'll just set you up on a time lapse and we'll knock this hood out real quick. So now that we've got the hood completely paint corrected, all our spots are gone, which, like I said, I'm really excited about. I'm gonna put some, kind of some Sios. It's from CarPro. It's actually a waterless wash, but it works really good as a coating. And so I'm gonna apply it similar to you would wax. I'm gonna put it on this pad, and then we're just gonna kind of wipe and cross hatch areas. So we'll go like this, and then we'll go back the other direction. Like I said, it works really well as like a coating. At least it has for me. It's not really designed for this. It's really designed for literally a waterless wash, but it's pretty thick. And we're just gonna see how it holds up. I've never really tried it in this application, but I've seen other guys doing it, and it seems to work for them, so. We're gonna let that set, kind of start to haze up, and then we'll come back and buff it off with a towel. So it's now kind of got a haze to it. We're gonna go ahead and wipe it down, kind of buff it off. And you don't have to do this in sections like I did. I'll time lapse it, but I'm gonna go over the whole car, or at least the spots that we buff. And by the time I start, let's say I apply the whole hood and then go down the sides, by the time I'm finished, then I'll be able to wipe everything up. Man, it's like glass now. I'm interested to see, after she takes it to work a couple more times, if that is the issue. So let's apply it to the whole car, and like I said, I'll time lapse that, or at least just the spots that we buffed, and then we'll look at it when we're all finished. Well, guys, at this point, we are completely finished up. And honestly, I was kind of surprised that the M205 took out those water spots. And you can hopefully see in those areas, they are completely gone. Now, I will tell you that my Griots polisher, while it's not super strong, it does a good enough job for what I do. In my opinion, at some point I'd like to upgrade to like a Rupes, I think is how you say it, Rupes, something like that. But those are by far a way better polisher. I will tell you though, I did change my backing plate on my Griots to a 5.5. It comes with a 6-inch backing plate. I changed to a 5.5 so I could have more options as far as pads. That was a Lake Country pad. Orange pad is what I used, and then that M205 from Meguiar's. I'll list that stuff in the description down below, but ever since I swapped to that, it just seems like it does a little bit better job. Now, it doesn't cover as much area, obviously, but it gives me more pad options as far as changing out pads to do different stuff. And then as far as the CarPro waterless wash goes that I used, I've seen guys use that coating for this application. So the way I rubbed it on, let it kind of rainbows up, and then you wipe it off, and it seems to hold up. So we'll just have to see whether I need to put some sort of other coating on it. But look, Sios is Sios, so I think that if you put some of that on, I think it's probably going to protect it, but time will tell. I don't know, like I said, if it's where she's parking, the place across the street that's making these pellets, that dust is settling on the car. And then this, like if it's raining and then it bakes in when it dries out. I don't know if that's what's going on. What I think is really odd though is like I was talking about the top, there's none on the top. And the top is all glass, but there's some sort of coating on the glass because like I said, it rainbows up when it rains. And not really sure what Tesla put in that, but I wish they could put it on the entire car and let me know in the comments if you guys know what's going on with that. It's just a really odd coating
And like I said, maybe it's made into the glass or something, but there is no water spots, which is unusual that there would be some on the hood, but none at all on the roof. So really weird. And then as far as the wheel goes, you know, we made it look better. It's not perfect, and really a guy would need to replace it or completely have this stripped down, fixed, and resprayed or coated. Like I said, my coater guy that did my headers on my Trans Am, he does wheels and stuff too. He said, I don't know that I can get the exact paint match, which, look, I guess it's far enough away from another wheel. If you got it close, it doesn't have to be the exact same shade, but I don't know. I think that'd drive me nuts as well. Like I said, it doesn't look great, but at least we don't have bare metal showing. And I will tell you that that little vial of paint, there's not a lot in there, and it's like $40. I'll list that in the description, like I said, also below. But and then I think there's only like half the amount of paint in it. So it's like buying a bag of potato chips where you buy a big bag and there's only like this many chips. That's how I feel about that. But I guess they're not planning on you painting an entire wheel. Probably not even set up to do what I did, honestly. It's probably just for little touch-ups and nicks here and there. Anyway, it looks a lot better. This is not my favorite thing to do on a daily driver. I don't mind washing them, but as far as like getting into paint correction and stuff for something you're gonna drive every day, that's generally why, like you see my cheaper truck, my 2000 extended cab, that's why I drive stuff like that. It's, you know, if it gets a scratch in it, I'm not as concerned. But when you have an expensive car like this, as a daily driver, yeah, it's just frustrating when you have to do stuff like this. But anyway, I do need to do some paint correction on my green truck. The white Corvette also needs some, but I don't know when I'm gonna have time to do that. White's gonna be really hard to show you guys on camera. The green, we might be able to get some on that. And to be honest with you, I like to do all that stuff up here in the garage because I have just a spot where I can leave it. I'm not throwing dust and stuff all over everything else. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please, like always, smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are not subscribed, please go down there, hit that subscribe button. Of course, while you're down there, ring that bell icon that notifies you every single time we drop a new video. And stay tuned to see what we work on next.